Dick Grayson, the boy wonder. This man has such a rich history and so many identity shifts that he's stepped far beyond his legacy as the first Robin and has become a comic book icon in the process. He was the standard that any comic book sidekick had to live up to, but also whose solo career puts many heroes to shame. Dick is the son of the world-famous acrobats, the Flying Graysons, who were killed by mob boss Tony Zuko when the circus owner didn't pay up his protection money. In response, Zuko's goons sabotaged the Graysons' trapeze with a special acid with a delayed reaction time. This caused the trapeze to snap in the middle of a performance and for the entire thing to be written off as a simple accident. Bruce Wayne, who happened to be in the audience at the time, saw much of himself in Dick, so he took the child in as a ward, training him up to become the first Robin. As tragic as Dick's origins were, things could have been a lot worse. All of his life, Dick was actually being groomed to become an assassin for the Court of Owls. Sidekick to one of the greatest superheroes who ever lived, or evil child assassin? Yeah, I think Dick came out ahead on this one. During his time as Robin, Dick met and fell in love with the first Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. The Boy Wonder also helped found the Teen Titans, during which time he met and fell in love with another woman, the Tamaradian princess, Starfire. Dick was engaged to both of these beautiful women. Well, at different points in his life, of course. Still, way to go, man! Dick led the Titans for multiple years, but his time with his super friends conflicted with his Gotham City duties. Puberty also took its toll on the constantly growing Grayson, as years later, he constantly butted heads with Batman. Fed up with his ward's other career, Bruce flat out fired Dick as Robin. Enraged, Dick went to one of the only people he could trust, Superman. Inspired by a story that Supes told him of a Kryptonian crime-fighting duo, Dick started his solo career as the hero Nightwing. As Nightwing, Dick watched over the streets of Bloodhaven, Gotham's sister city. Free to do his own thing, Nightwing went on multiple adventures either by himself, with the Titans, or other superhero teams. In fact, he's been a member of almost every single team in the DC universe. Dick temporarily filled in for the role of Batman when Bane broke Bruce's back during the events of Nightfall. Around this time, Dick and Bruce started patching up their relationship, and all was well once the Dark Knight was able to fully return to his role. And then later on, Bruce Wayne died. As the one true heir, Dick took up the cape and cowl a second time to continue the Batman legacy. Along with Damian Wayne, the fifth Robin, the brand new dynamic duo took on their own horde of enemies, including Professor Pig and El Flamingo. After Bruce returned from the dead, and Dick helped him face off against the secret organization known as Spyral, he returned to his preferred role as Nightwing, just in time for the New 52. In this new continuity, Nightwing's signature blue costume turns red, and he's back to kicking ass and taking names. Until the crime syndicate and alternate universe version of the Justice League captures him and unmasks Nightwing to the world as Dick Grayson. Stripped of his identity, Dick fakes his death with the help of good old Batman to infiltrate the aforementioned Spyral as a double agent. From Robin, to Nightwing, to Batman, to Agent 37 of Spyral. That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us up to speed with the current day DC universe. Dick Grayson, one man, many names. If you're wanting to dive into the world of Dick Grayson, there are lots of places where you can jump in. I personally recommend Batman Dark Victory, Nightwing Year 1, Batman and Robin Batman Reborn, and Batman The Black Mirror. But as always, now it's time for a vote. Pick which of Nightwing's fiancés you'd like me to do a video on, Barbara Gordon or Starfire. You can click on this video to learn more about the origins of every single one of the Robins, or you can click this one to be taken to a playlist of every Batman video that I have ever made or will make in the future. I mean, come on, if you like this video, chances are you'll like the other ones that I did on other Batman characters.